People that ping from the side be like, "Are you starting yet? Come on, people." Oh my God. So, hi everyone. This is our fourth session for OpenAI.net. I don't know what's wrong with my camera, but this is really cool just to see. Um, so yesterday we were working on this particular issue. Elbic fixed the issue. Christo published it, and then Brian tried it, and then now we can continue. It's just the power of this community is just beyond anything I can imagine. And I'm really, really happy and grateful for that because, that kind of gives us this amazing advantage. Like people are truly invested into building, something world class, something that is, truly worth its while. So cool, cool. Let's see here. Hey, Athena, how are you?
Hello, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right.
Cool.
Yeah.
I
Are we
was just,
already live?
yeah, we are already live.
Oh, okay, okay.
I'll send you
I'll sit back.
back so you can watch. But Athena is an amazing PM, and she kind of gives us the insights from behind the scenes. She's the person behind the scenes managing all of this. I'm just kidding. Athena's a great friend, and she's super interested and invested in AI and machine learning and all that. All right, go
All right.
and. Or up, Gregory. Okay, let's see here. So where am I? I wanna kind of pull in the code. So Brian, you already pushed in
It's still in
that
that it's still in that branch of
on that
mine.
branch. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Okay, so let's share the branch. Actually, let me increase the resolution. I might have everyone here kind of share their time zone. It shows up under their screen. That'd be sweet, so people know that this is a global effort. It's happening all over the place. Anyway, so let me go back and open up OpenAI here. So recent projects.
You're going to have
OpenAI.
to put in a fresh API key.
Yeah, I know. So, oh yeah, speaking of which, just for the people, I kind of went all over the place with this, but so yesterday, while I was kind of showing the demo and whatnot, we got to the very end, everyone is tired. We said, okay, let's wrap it up, and I forgot and I pushed this key in here, right? And the most beautiful thing happened. Now, if you are using OpenAI and you're pushing an OpenAI key, they will send you an email if that key is pushed to a public repository, like not private. Private it's different. If it's going to a public repository, they immediately cancel that key, and then they let you know, hey, we rotated these keys for you, right? This happens all the time. It doesn't matter whether you've been in the industry for a day or a century. It really doesn't matter. It happens all of the time. And I think it's gonna be I think it's a great thing. I think that just the fact that engineers are thinking proactively of kind of having other engineers back is an amazing advantage. Okay, so let me pull latest here. Let's do that.
So
My
just to
favorite.
test, sorry to interrupt, just to test this, I made that delete me into a partial class. And in the other partial class, I had a field set,
The
but I,
key.
yeah,
Nice.
but I exclude that from the Git repository. So
I love how even Brian is taking care of us. See, that's the thing. Yeah, I can create a quick partial in here. That's not a problem. Um, okay, so just to tell everybody here. Oh, I didn't know Gregory was the same time as me. I'm in Pacific Standard as well. Cool, cool. Gregory, where about? Same state? Seattle as well too? Washington? Okay, so let's do this. Um, we want to test this one more time just to show people. again, Elbic, thank you so much for updating the library. If I go and look here for the installed libraries, we have a new release, which is 210, and that was released March 14th. So like I was telling the people, Elbic fixed it, Elbic in Uzbekistan fixed it, Christo in England published it, and then Brian in Australia, kind of tested it, and then I'm sitting right here to run it. This is how amazing this community is, and I'm really appreciative of that. Okay, let me create a partial class in here real quick. Let me do delete me partial. Delete me hush hush secret. We put these ridiculous names so we know that we need to delete it, that we're not really serious about it. And I'm gonna do partial here, and then I'm gonna say private read only API string API key equals, and then I'm gonna take this guy on the side here away from that screen, and let me go and pick up the reference. So this OpenAI API reference, and then I'm gonna put the secret in here real quick. View API keys. They don't let you view them, so when they rotate them, it doesn't mean anything because I don't think I'll be able to view. I need to create a new one, right? So okay, so here we are, and then I'm gonna put that key in here. Let's do this here. And then I'm gonna run it. Let's run this thing. So debug. Moment of truth. Here we go. Okay, so it's working. Yay. And then if I look at the add a quick watch in here, and I
The
look
choice
at the
choices.
choices.
Yep.
So in the choice, the computer says hi. AI can be.
Now you got your response chopped off really short, and the reason for that is you had your max tokens set to 5.
Okay, let's do this. Let's change this to, usually I just put it 300 or something like that, right? And I can drag this back and debug. I thought, it's not gonna do that for me. I can't change the code and do it. I'm not living in a fantasy world here. Okay. Hey, Cygnus? Cygnus, I hope I'm saying the name right. 6 a.m. in France. Amazing. Okay. You know what, Brian? The internet still fascinates me until today. You know, the internet is a crazy thing. The fact that I can be sitting in an airplane, sitting in a seat in the air amongst the clouds, and I can read the news and contact anyone in the world. I don't think people appreciate this enough. So, so I think that's crazy. But anyway, that's just me and my boomer talk. So let's just go down here and let's
Right.
see. Yeah, hi there. How are you doing? Oh, so it did respond. Fantastic, right? And we could limit these choices to one, right? We can basically go and say, is there an action in there where we can go and say
What it
pop?
is the
Mm.
choices. It is only one, but I think it's multiple lines, and that's why you're seeing an array.
Oh, is that what it is? Are you
I think.
sure?
Yeah,
Okay,
not sure. Yeah, not 100% sure, but we have. That's what the completions per prompt is. We've got it
I
set to 1.
see.
Yeah.
Okay, I see. We're gonna need to circle back and talk about these default values. We're gonna let the service handle that, at
Hmm.
some point, and we'll take care of that because the service is not gonna let an invalid object come through the system, and that invalid object, we're gonna go and say, oh, these things cannot be null, cannot be empty. This is where Elbic and Kylo come in and start kind of going back and forth, writing some tests and validations, and we get to show everyone how we're doing this. This is gonna be fantastic. Okay, cool. Let's do this. So I'm gonna just revert everything we have in here because this is a working solution. Let's do undo changes here. So this is all gone. And let's delete this. And this should be, oh, I did commit that, right? So let's take that out. or sorry, Brian did commit that, so we're gonna take that guy out. Control KE, this is gone. What did I do here? I just cleaned this up. I just pushed it to the next level. I think that's an okay. And guess what? We have an API broker. We have a functional API broker that actually can go and hit, the OpenAI and come back with it. Let's wrap up this guy. So I'm just gonna go here and say code rub cleanup, right? So I'm just gonna push this up here, and then let's go to GitHub real quick. Here we go, and then I'm gonna be sharing. Here's the window, new tab, and then I'm gonna be, so here's GitHub. This project is amazing. A lot of people told me that, they get to see how things start, how things evolve, and that's what I'm trying to capture in these videos, right? So, okay, documentation update README. Who did this? I don't, this is an Uzbek guy, right? I
Yes,
think.
yes, he is.
That's very sweet. Oh my God, people already did the whole, no opener, no refer, no follow. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna take it. I hope they uploaded an icon. If they didn't, that's okay. But we have something sitting in there that kind of tells us, I really appreciate this. This is amazing contribution. So that means we even have our README now saying things, and we're gonna start listing all of these sessions for the people that want to follow. So they can see all of these sessions. I think there's even more than this. This is the fourth one, right? So we should be good here. And then on this one, we can now actually declare this one ready for review because we have what we need. I'm gonna do a period in here just so we can review it together real quick. And then Kailu, get ready because you're gonna start writing a foundation service. So on your mark, sir.
Okay.
So yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Um,
You're gonna tell me what we need in the.
yes, I'll tell you everything. Get a little closer to the mic because it's very hard for us to hear you, okay? Choice, completion.
I'm wearing earpods, so if you sing talking loud, then that means I probably have to shout.
If you shout, you're gonna wake up your daughter. It's gonna be a problem, right? Okay, for the people watching, there's this guy his name is Kailu. He lives in the shadows, but he does a lot of amazing things. That's that voice that you're hearing. Okay, cool. I'll do my best. Okay, so this is all the pieces that we need. And Brian, I think we also have the um did we have the oh, internal invisible too. Good, good. We're gonna need that as well. No, we're not gonna need it in acceptance tests. We're not gonna need it in integration tests, so we should be good. We're gonna need to add another project. Elbic, go to the project and create an issue called initialize integration test.
All right.
Okay, I'm merging this one. This one looks good to me. Uh, this goes in, post completion request. Here we go. All right. Kailu, let's create a foundation completions service. So it's going to be completion service with a completion model, and that completion model is going to have two things inside of it. Just for the people that watching the model, like the standard, basically says that you can't have more than one model operating on one service, right? So you can't like I was saying yesterday, you can't push in a student, right? And you can't get back, like you can't go and say teacher like this, and you go and say retrieve student teacher while you're pushing a student model in here like this. You can't do that. Why? Because now your service is not really one domain, one single responsibility anymore. It doesn't work like that. So you need two services. You need a student service and you need a teacher service, and you need to find the primitive or native or primitive types or property types in your incoming request so you can able to communicate these information back and forth within an orchestration service. So what we're going to do with this model is something a little bit similar to that. What we're going to do is that we're going to go and say, let me do this here. We're going to basically go and say, here's the deal. This here is going to be our a completion model. Completion model. And this completion model is going to have two properties in it. One property is for the request and another property is for the response. So we're basically passing in a completion request and a completion response. A request and a completion response in here to match these values, right? So that's coming in, you're doing a dough and you're putting it in the microwave. The dough comes back out with all the cooking and all the state change that happened to it, right? Now here's a question for the group. We probably need to change the models that we've created to say external, because I need to make a model that matches that, almost matches that 100%, that is called internal. So what I'm saying here is that basically in our code here, these two models that we created here, which is basically choice and completion request and all that fun stuff, I want all of that to be like, we already called it external completions, right? So we're gonna need another folder in here called completions, and we're gonna need to have a distilled model, one model that kind of encapsulates all of these things. And then inside that model, we'll be able to get the response and the request. We can break that model into two smaller models, like submodels inside of it, or we can flatten it. You know, either way is fine for me. What do you guys want to do? Flatten. So if we flatten it out, it will be all of these properties, and then all of these properties, and then these properties and these properties, basically. That's what this would look like. I'm okay with creating it in one model, as long as we know what we're doing. Personally, I think if we break it into two smaller models, I think that would be okay too.
So in that case, we are gonna have completion request folder, external completion request, and external completion response, right?
No. We're gonna create a folder, and this folder is gonna be called. Let me actually do this part, and then I'll hand it over to Kailu to kind of do the. Is that okay with you, Kay? I'm gonna create the models, and
Go
then
ahead.
okay, all right, wow, all right, cool. Let's do this. So what I would want to do is that I would want to go here and say, okay, this is under models. I have a folder called completions. Completions, like this, right? And this here, we're going to call it external completion request. And this here will be called external completion response, like this. And then inside this guy, I will have a model called completion model. And inside this, I will have a completion request and a completion response. So therefore, this guy will have something here called, come on, hold on. Prop. I don't know what happened to my shortcuts. Yeah, there you go. Completion request. So that will be called request. And this here will be called a completion response. And that will be response, like that. And this is our local model. Now, probably someone would ask, do you want? Why are we doing that? Why can't we just use external completion request and external completion response all the way upstream, all the way to the client? The problem with that is that if your API is changing their model, they break everything upstairs. But if your API here is changing its model, you don't have to change that model on your consumer, on your client. Because your client already have this abstract model that's sitting between you and the external world. In other words, is that if I go up in here and basically say, here is my external model, that's the model that matches the API. So this is external model or contract. you have to have an internal local contract. Local contract. Even if it matches it property by property. It doesn't matter. Because if this guy is changing, we have to map the new model that comes in back onto this contract that we already agreed upon with our consumers.
Isn't it the whole idea of data transfer objects, DTOs? So they use DTOs in storage side, but it's similar here, right?
Well, DTOs tries to intentionally hide data from you. Like DTO will hide the ID, it will hide the created date, updated date, and all that good stuff. DTO also exists whether you are interfacing with an external model or not. Like you could own the database and you own the models and you still have to go do a DTO, which is, to me, that's crazy, right? Because why would you do something like this when you own the model? Like the model is yours, the resource is yours,
Ah, I see. Oh,
right? In here, the
yeah.
resource is not ours. Like these are not ours. Like, let me tell you this. Look at the decision maker in this process, right? Like, let's say the, Sam Altman and his team basically went and changed their OpenAI API model. Yeah, these guys will change, but this guy will not. In order for us to be able to interface with that API, these guys will certainly change. But we don't have to change. We have to just figure out the mapping and the abstraction between these external models and the internal model. And this way, your customer will always, always be safe. Now, let me tell you some craziness that may or may not happen in the real world. What people do, let me just tell you a hypothetical. Let's just say it's a hypothetical. It never happens in the real world. Sometimes you have a team sitting up in here. This is a team, right? It's great people. They're cool, completely independent team or organization or a company, nothing specific, right? And these guys are just sitting here and they're basically going and saying, hey, other team, in order for us to use our APIs, go and take this package, this shared NuGet package. So these other, good souls or poor souls, depending on where they stand, they will go and consume that package which has the models. And then they expose that same package to their customer. So these guys, just a hypothetical, nothing real, these guys will go and change that package and they break every consumer, every customer. Hypothetical, nothing real, right, Kailu? This never happens in the real world, right? This is just I saw it in a dream, somewhere. My my favorite part about this is when people say, well, we're all a .NET shop, so why can't we just share the libraries between each other? Well, anyway, for those who have been seeing anything like that, they will just smile and be quiet. And for those who never heard of that, be like, who would ever do such a thing? Anyway, you live long enough, you see a lot of craziness happening in the tech market, and that's basically, it may or may not have happened. Okay, let's just say that. Okay, so let's go back to our API here. Now here's the tough part, right? We need to, if we have to, we can kind of transfer them one to one, right? One to one, or we can have a distilled version of this, right? Now the question to Brian probably is, what do we care about here that we want to keep, and what do we not care about? Well, I don't want to hide anything from the consumer. So what I'm going to do probably is that I'm going to take this whole guy here. For now, I'll take all that stuff in here, and I'm just going to go and say, this is my completion request. And I'm just going to take away all of these things. So anywhere where it says JSON property, like this, I'm just going to do and say Control X. Oh, it just took the one, right? Let's Control X. Oh, okay, fine. Let's do this. Gone. And then I want to take away all these empty lines. And I think this should be okay. And I don't think we need all these lines in here. Is there a nice way to do this without having to do it one by one? There probably is. Let's see here. If I do this like that, just a moment. Of course, I have to do some ninja stuff because why wouldn't I? Here, let's pick up. By the way, there's also a shortcut, I think, for selecting all. Instead of doing this, I think there's a way where you can select all of them at once. I just don't remember. Let's go down here. Let's take away all of this. And while we're at it, Brian, we can now take away these default values, right? Because that's what we basically going to be validating against, right? So let's take that guy. Here's these guys. Let's take away all of this. Anywhere where it says equal null, anywhere where it says this, anywhere where it says dictionary. And then I'm going to take this guy as well. So just for the people watching, this user basically, if you're building an enterprise system, if some user in your system abusing the service and they're pushing and they're consuming too much of it, you can block that user. So you say every time this user is coming through the system, block that. And that's a free thing that the OpenAI team is giving you outside of the box. Okay, we have this dictionary, we have this fun, and then we also want the response. So let's do that response part as well in here. There's my
And 2
response.
default values left in the request.
Oh, really? Okay, I'll take care of that very shortly. Thanks. And that's gone. That's gone. And then everywhere where it says public, take one, delete that. Done. And this usage and choices, we need to also have our own. So I'm going to call this external choice. Oops. External choice. And I'm going to call this external usage. So that means that I have choice and usage in here, or using choice. And I also have, so we're marking foreign things as foreign. So this is it using or usage? Yeah, there you go. And then here is my choice. And this guy goes right here. So I have this. That's gone. And then also let's do this. I know some people said stop doing shortcuts and live streams because we actually don't know what you're clicking on, but you get the idea of what I'm trying to do. Now for the shortcuts and all that, just follow my Giphies on LinkedIn, on YouTube or whatever. I put a lot of Giphies there, and these Giphies say, "Hey, did you know you can do blah blah?" What's this? Rami says keyboard shortcut to insert carrots at all matching shift alt semicolon. Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Rami, when are you gonna join our stream? You should join our stream and talk to us, huh? Let's see. So let's do this in here. Let's try it. So what Rami's saying is that Alt Shift semicolon will select all of them. It's pretty cool, right? I know there's something. I'm just too lazy to look it up. And then I can do this, Alt Shift, and then we'll do this, and here we are. And that's also done. Control KE. And then I can also add the shortcuts, the copyright in here. So we have the copyrights here. This is all clean, clean and clean. Completion response, Control KE. And give me that guy, and we should be good in here. Okay, so we basically completely separated between these two. Oh, he's saying I'm shy. He can't join the stream. Okay, fine, dude. You want to be that way? All most of the it's most of the engineers that I met, they'll be like, look, you're giving me a panic attack with these live streams, Please don't put me out there. I can't deal with this. Totally understandable, man. That's cool. Let's create a branch in here. This is users slash Hassan Habib slash foundations, right? And because this is a business logic thing, we gotta call it prompt completion. You're not gonna say post completion request async anymore. You're just gonna say prompt. I think prompt is a better name for it, Brian, unless you can think of other business case way of saying this. I think prompt is okay, don't you think? Completions. What do you think?
No, prompt should be fine. Yeah.
Prompt is okay? So prompt. That's gonna be the method name, K. So here's prompt. And I'm just gonna go here and say data. And I'm gonna say completion completion model. Oh, I forgot something. So in the completion request, are we still using external? Or the response maybe? Are we still? So here we go. Now we should be okay. You got to remember these things. Don't rely on the API to. And then Elbic, I know you told me there's external. Do you think of anything else? Is there anything else? My people,
I think it looks good.
my tribe, my creed, my kin. Okay, cool. All right. Completion model. All right, Kay, you're it. Go to town, son. Make it happen. For those who don't know, Kailu and I have been pairing for a very long time, almost 6 years, every night around that time. So we decided to shift our nightly meetings, our pairing sessions, from being in the shadows into across the globe, to build something open source. I think this is really sweet. All right, Kay. Kay is in. Please let me know for the people watching if you're not. I think the resolution is okay, Brian, right? You can say it okay. I can say it okay. So, okay, look for foundations. Yep.
So I'm doing stuff against this completion folder, right?
Yes,
Or
sir. You need to create services and then foundations. And then under foundations, we need completions and then create a completion service. And you know what to do. Go to town. Hey, Elbic, I figured out a way to make you moderating the chat while we're talking. You want to be a moderator? Is that what you want to do, son? What's your
Yeah,
live
that's
stream?
great.
Let's see here. Send something in the chat. Just say hello, hi, anything like that. Uh-huh. Did you send something?
It's in. I sent in the private chat.
No, send it
I cannot.
in the public one, so I can make you a
I
moderator.
cannot. I cannot actually.
No, go to YouTube, like circle
Oh,
around to
right.
YouTube.
All right. All right.
But be careful, you want to mute the tab first, otherwise you're gonna get this the feedback, the echo and stuff. It'd be crazy. Okay. Kailu's on autopilot. I don't have to tell him anything, so I'll just be talking about every other thing other than the actual code, at least for the beginning, at least for the most part. Okay. By the way, Gregory, I'm gonna go visit probably San Diego sometime early next month. So if you want to meet up and say hi, I'll be there. I just saw Gregory saying I'm from San Diego, so it's pretty nice when you try to book like a flight and your airline says, "Oh, by the way, do you want this flight for free? You have a lot of miles that you haven't used." We're like, I wouldn't mind. I love it. Why not? Okay, Athena said hello. I'm gonna make Athena a moderator. What is add a standard moderator versus managing moderator? I have no idea what that means. Athena is a managing moderator of your channel. So Athena sent a message. Why aren't you sending a message? What happened to you? Do you know where YouTube is? Okay, there you go. Add managing moderator.
Yeah, Sam, does this look right?
I'm looking. Let's see. Just say prompt async. You don't have to say prompt completion. Just prompt async. Or what do you think, Kailu? Should we make it prompt completion? Well, historically speaking, we've been saying add student, remove student, so always the entity was there. Let's make it prompt completion. I'm with you. Keep going.
Okay.
You win. You win, my friend. You got it.
Should it be plural? Because sometimes you get more than one.
Completions? Completions?
So we have
Well,
multiple requests, you say?
wait. You're not getting multiple completions. You're getting multiple choices under the completion. And Kailu, your input and output is just completion. It's not response request. It has to be the same model. That's why we're doing this. Yep. Completion. Yep.
So when the request is coming, the only one property of the completion will be populated, and while we are returning it back, we just populate the other, right?
Exactly. And then, I found a really nice advantage of this for the people that get responses, but they log it and they have no idea what the request was. Now I'm giving you the whole package. Here's your apple, and I'm giving you your apple back. No ads or additions there. This is gonna give you a little bit of hard time, Kay, because of the submodel. So choice and usage. Brian, should we make them all public for the models? Because that's what the end user is going to be using. So we want them to actually see these models.
Well, if those models are coming all the way to the exposure layer, yeah, sure, of course.
Okay.
So we build a library, we don't need a logging broker or anything like that.
Nope, there's no logging broker. It's just because it's a library. The logging here will be, although that I've seen some Microsoft libraries, some of the folks that design frameworks at Microsoft, they add logging even in the library, but that's you're now kind of dictating which logging mechanism you want to follow. There could be a more generic way to listen in on the events that are coming outside, but you don't want to expose the internals anyway of this library. So if you start logging, you're gonna be logging internals, right? So it's an open source library. If they want to add logging, by all means, we have a very precise way of doing that. Okay. Lou going to town.
So should the service be internal?
The service should be internal. Can you make the service internal, Kay? Yeah, that should be okay. Because we only want to expose it to the client, but that's it, and the test. Elbic, get ready because you're gonna be passing the test. It's gonna be fun.
The interface should
Sure.
be public, right? Or
No, that one is also internal. So the reason why we're doing them internal is because we don't want the customer to have access to the internal services. It's literally called internal for that. You know, we really mean that. But, okay. By the way, we didn't get mock or anything, so you're gonna have to install all of these. Just so you know. Sorry. You could literally go to Git file and copy all of them if you want, Kay, because you're gonna need all of them. You're gonna need all the hey Elbic, can you do a code rub sorry, configs issue on the repository to update all the libraries because the out of the box framework libraries are the ones that come with the template are already out of date. Okay. So while Kailu is doing this, have anyone been playing with GPT-4 yet? It's pretty cool, huh? No, not yet.
I just saw the demo in the morning. So
There is a different series, and this is like a solo series. I might pull some people in sometimes where I talk about AI in general, with or without .NET, with or without OpenAI and all that. And in some of these sessions, I will be talking about, you guys must have seen at least once, the demo that I made where I'm just dictating things by voice, and the web page is being built as I'm talking to it. This is fully GPT-3, and I want people to actually understand the theory, how this works, because I don't want us to be dependent on OpenAI forever. I want us to be able to spin up our own AI server, right? And to be able to kind of, if we have the hardware to handle it, if we can put in a couple of GPUs, especially one of these, the leftovers from the cryptocurrency war, you know, people went and invested like millions of dollars, to mine cryptocurrency, and then they just ended up not taking off, and now you have all of these, GPUs just sitting around. Well, here's the funny part about this. We get to use these to host our own servers that will train the model. So they're not exactly trash. You can still use these and get a couple of motherboards, stack a couple of these 4090s or 3080s and go to town, you know. By the way, Kay, I think you're gonna need I compare logic. Just a wild guess. You have it? Good. You have the deep cloner, you have mock. You don't need Levent. You don't need Levent, at least not yet. You need the compare logic. You don't have it in here. Get it from, oh, compare it now. Yep, you got it. Yep. See, Kylo doesn't talk to me in words. He'll just say here. That's it. That wraps up the conversation.
so I
I
also
love
I
Kylo.
always
Good,
wondered
good. Mm.
I always wondered how you are using this object filler. It's
Mm.
relatively not popular or less popular library compared to, for example, Bogus or something like that. So
The one thing I don't like about the BOGO library, the one that fills in bogus, not
Bogus,
bogus.
yes.
Yeah, bogus. Bogosort is hilarious though. Bogosort is an algorithm that says you pick up a bunch of cards and just throw them up in the air. If you throw them up in the air enough times, eventually they're gonna come down ordered. And
Mm,
the execution time of it is O of factorial n multiplied by n. Like
mm,
like infinite number of probabilities, like the worst execution time, asymptotic time that you can possibly get.
mm,
Enough with
mm,
the nerd talk. The bogus one is basically forcing you to define every property. So I have worked on some projects where the model had 179 properties.
Oh.
One model, 179 properties. I was young and stupid. I didn't have the ability to go and say, no, we're not going to do it this way. So I thought to myself, oh, I'm a happy camper. I will work around that. And then I'm trying to use one of these filler libraries and I'm using bogus and bogus say, yeah, you're going to have to define every one of the 179 properties. And then I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. We're done. Unfortunately, the guy that maintains the existing library that we have today, that guy, he got married and he has kids, and he doesn't maintain that library anymore. And what I'm basically saying is that the standard community, we're gonna need to replace a lot of these libraries because they're non-standardized. They're not test driven. The people that are maintaining them are not around anymore, or they lost momentum. The other big problem with this is ownership. Like look at one of these libraries like BUnit, for instance. Imagine if Eagle Hansen today decided that he just doesn't have the time and energy to maintain BUnit anymore. Who's gonna pick that up? Right? And I don't know how many contributors. I know he created an organization. I don't know how many contributors he has in there. But if you really want a project to continue, you will notice that I'm doing this a lot now. Like Chris Tutui and you are and Brian is, I put a lot of owners, right? I even gave him access to the main NuGet publishing channel. This guy can literally take down an entire enterprise if he wants to at this moment in time by just publishing a bad version of RESTful sets, right? But you trust the people, you trust the versioning, you trust that people will look at the version and know who's publishing it, but you trust it's built on trust. It's built on people that you know they're going to do the right things. That means if I go away, if I step outside one day and a bus comes and just, get hit by a bus, everything will continue as usual, right? That's the point, right? I think you and Crystal also have direct access to the actual standard documentation. And it's
Yes.
really, really important that you democratize and decentralize the ownership of the documentation and the work that you're doing. It's really important. You can't just, this whole idea of the savior pattern needs to go away. I'm pretty sure nobody has ever seen a team or an organization where there's this one senior guy that knows all the answers, and then there's like 5 other people around them. And any pull request that comes in, he has to bless it and say that's okay or not okay. Even if the code works, even if the code is right. Sometimes these saviors could be a leaders of chaos, because what they would do is that they would go and say, yeah, test driven is the right thing to do, but we can't do it now. And you'll be like, why? It's not in the best interest of the business. That's an engineer that says that. That's a disaster, right?
Yeah.
So you can't have saviors. One of the biggest things that the standard is built on top of, we can't have saviors. Okay, so let's see what's happening here. So Kailu, you're creating this completion model, right? And what we really want to do, you're not going to be able to do that, my friend. You're going to need to create a dynamic model. Do you remember I talked before about and this is actually a great opportunity to just talk to people about that. We need to create, there is this idea, right? It says things that are equal to the same thing are equal to each other, right? So if x equals z and y equals z, then x equals y. What's that has to do with the prices of tea in China, right? What does this even mean, right? It means that your unit test cannot repeat the logic of your service. So if your service is going to do mapping from model X to model Y, you can't have your test do that. But what you can do, you can generate a random dynamic component of properties. And out of these properties, you're going to create X and Y. And you're going to let your service do the mapping. Kailu, do you remember that piece? We did this before in the Blazor project. Do you want me to take it?
Yeah.
You want me to do it?
I just don't remember how to do it, so I'm
Send,
looking things up. Probably
yep,
in your head, but it's not
yep,
my head.
yep, send it over to me. Send it to me.
Okay.
I've been talking for a while. Time to write some code.
Okay.
Let's
Yeah.
do this.
Giving you a WIP.
Yeah, what's the test name? Did you write a test name yet?
I wrote test name yet.
Take that
Not
test name
there
and
yet.
say, yeah, thin arrow WIP.
Okay.
Okay, let's do this. So let me just go back to the theory for people, just so they understand, and then I'm gonna implement it in front of you. Um, and I, for the life of me, Elbic, I can't remember it. What did I call it? It's the name of a theory, of a mathematical
Yeah,
theory.
yeah, yeah.
What's it?
Axioms, theory of axioms.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the law of axioms. Things are equal to the same thing are equal to each other. So in other words, if you have, let's say you have a function foo that takes in x and y and returns x plus y like this, your test cannot possibly be repeating that logic. So what would you do in your test? In your test, you would go and say, give me, so the test of foo test would be something that says, give me a random z, right? And out of this random z, extract the x and the y, right? So int x will be, a random z minus some random value. So in here, I would say, random number. And then int y would be random z minus x. So this way, you're not really doing the exact same logic that's happening here. And that's the simplest form of it. Okay? And then from there, you can go and say, well, int expected z equals, and then you say foo in here, and you pass in y and x, and you say this is supposed to behave this particular way. If your test is repeating the same logic that your service is doing, you're doing it wrong. You're not doing test-driven development. Okay? Let's go back here. So, Kailu, I'm taking your... Who has some really beautiful birds chirping? Is that you, Brian? Is that Australia? No? I don't know who's doing it.
That's me.
Oh, that's
me.
you. But that's not Australia. That's more like Seattle. But Seattle doesn't have... Oh, that's your... Is that your alarm thingy? Okay.
Yeah,
Cool,
that's a
cool.
clock. Every
All right.
something old clock. Everything once the minute hits 00, it's gonna scream. The birds are gonna scream.
It is 11 o'clock in here. Dang. Elbic, some of your fans are saying hi. All right.
He's my dear and brother.
Awesome. So, okay, so here's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to create a random dynamic object. And this dynamic object will have all the properties that we want. And out of this object, we're basically going to go and say, okay, give me the stuff that I need. So private static dynamic create random completion properties like that. And this guy will return, it's typeless, return new, and then just a model like this. Yes, you can do that in C# today, like absolutely no model here whatsoever. And then let's start from the request. So I'm gonna go onto the request here. I'm gonna split the screen. I'm gonna go like this, and I'm gonna steal these guys. I'm gonna steal all of this. So I'm just gonna go here and say, well, give me all of these. Give me all of these here. all of these guys here. And then give me this, and also give me that. And here's my models, close this. Here's this. The reason why I copied the type, even though I don't have to, is because I want to know what to generate in this area, right? And I don't think I did a good job kind of actually copying these properties. So let me go back here. There is my request, completion request, and Alt Shift semicolon, huh? And then like this. Yeah, that should be good enough. Oh, it's for the dictionary because, okay, what else did I miss? Um,
It's
oh,
having
really?
trouble. It's having trouble with the arrays as well.
Yeah, with the, yeah, that's right. You're not kidding. That's right. Um, cool. Okay, fine. Let's go back here. I can fix that probably. Here we go. And then I'm just gonna paste this. I'm gonna move all these guys. If you do select all and tap, it should work it for you. And then these guys, this is a dictionary of string, right, Brian? I think. And
String int.
oh, string int and called logit bias. Okay, so let's do that in here. And what is this question mark log probabilities? Cool. Okay, so now and then there's one here at the top, and I think that one is
You still got string there, mate.
cool. Prompt. Gotcha. String int, right? Like this?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. So I have these guys, and I want to generate a bunch of stuff, right, to put it in there. And we really don't care about the data in there, but I need a bunch of methods that help me do that. So private static string, create random string. This is new mnemonic string. This is what this guy's going to do for me. It's going to generate random strings for me. This should be static. Same mistake, never changes. Private static int create a get random number. I don't know if it was this session or another session. Oh, I think it was the OData session where I basically said, hey, what's the difference? Why are we doing this? And I can make the minimum, I don't know, 0 to maximum 10 or something like that. I can have these numbers. And now I can go here and say get random string, create random string, because we really don't care about um, we don't care about the value there. We just want to make sure that the mapping has happened properly. Right? Now I wonder if this thing can also generate for me a string array. That would make me pretty happy. Create random string array. So new filler string array create. Right? And this might blow up, we'll see. So this will be here, create random string array. And missing the book stream property. Is there a stream property on the is that right, Brian? You're on mute.
There should be a stream property that's Boolean.
Oh, a Boolean? Okay, cool. And then get random number in here. And then I also want to get a random number in here. And then let's take away all of this. We don't need that. We don't need this. Don't need this. I don't need any of that. And then this is a double as well, so get random number. Get random number. Stream. What is that? So stream is a Boolean, right? So we need the
Yeah.
random Boolean. And I think there is I think
So
huh?
what it does is when you use stream, and you're telling it whether you want to stream the result or whether you want to wait until the result is complete.
Right.
So when you're using the web page, it streams it to you. You'll see that it slowly comes back a word at a time or a sentence at a time.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Boolean range. No, there is no Boolean range. That's AI is trying to be smart. Boolean sequence generating Boolean get value, something like that. And this guy always returns a bool. Yeah, there you go. So that will give me a random Boolean. Cool. Get random Boolean. Get random number. Get random Boolean. Get random, create random string array. Get random number.
But what's the name of this property?
It's that. It's the property. It's what's behind the type. I'm gonna take away the type in a second, right?
Oh, I didn't see the. Yeah, okay.
What happened to you? I'm gonna make you write code right now. Get you up a little bit.
No,
I think what he's pointing out is the string array is you've got string array equals and you don't have a name for that one.
yeah.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I'm sorry. Oh, this one? What's it called, bro?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. You know, you're still gonna write code, but what's so stupid. Get
I think it's
uh-huh.
stop. The one that you're missing.
It's just called top.
Stop. Yeah.
Oh, stop.
Stop. Yep.
What is this for? Stop. What does it do?
Not sure. I can't remember.
Okay. So, what else? Private static stream. We don't want a stream. I want a dictionary of string and an int. Right? And then I want to go and say filler create. There you go. Ah, so sweet. So this is create random dictionary. What did I call it? There you go. There. So, Elbic, you see what I just did there? Do for the rest of the property on the same object. Can you go as
Alright.
fast as I can? Yeah? Okay. What's Gregory says? Hey Chowdhury. Bool not book. Bool line 39 he said. Where is it, brother? I don't see it. What's Gregory talking about? Or maybe I fixed it? Yeah? Elbic, do
Yeah,
you want me
probably.
to
Yes.
do you want me to do the rest or can you do it?
I can just send me over.
Okay, here. I'm gonna take the exact same test name and I just say work in progress. There you go. Because you know I'm an old guy. You know I can't just type everything. You know what I mean? So.
Uh,
And by the way, Kailu, I
so-
don't think you pushed everything because I should see the test name in here, right? Why it's not there? Let me look at Kailu's change. Kailu, where did he put it? Unit prompt. Yeah, it's not here. What was your test name? Should prompt completion async?
Yeah.
I think that's what he said. Should prompt completion async WIP. Hey, hey guy, take it. Have fun.
all right.
I hope you're in dark mode. I hope to God that you're
Of
in dark
course.
mode.
Of course.
Sam
And
Sam Sam Shu blinded all of us the other day. You know, I hope so. Good for it.
yeah, just share the screen, please.
Oh, you're already sharing? Okay, cool. You're gonna have to increase your resolution a little bit. So on
Alright.
your desktop, either go 150. What do you do, Brian? Are you on 150? I'm on 150 here.
I used 175 when I was presenting earlier.
175?
Yeah, but it
Okay,
makes it really hard to use the IDE. A lot of things get
I
hidden.
know.
Yeah.
Scale
The
150, right?
suffering of streaming live, huh?
Yeah.
Go.
Oh. All right.
Yeah, that's perfect. Stop right there.
All right.
Deal with it.
So I need to go to.
Foundations, because this is the very first foundation service that we build. Elbic, try to shrink your ID a little bit so it fills in that gap. Do you see that gap in the stream?
Shrink.
Yeah, like just
All right.
maybe
Just like
taller.
this.
Go taller. Go taller.
It's It's all over my
It's the
screen
top of
now.
your
I
screen?
cannot.
Okay.
Yeah,
So if you make it full screen, what happens? Okay. Okay, that's fine.
yeah, that's everything.
Great.
So,
Gregory says stop is stop string or array optional defaults to null up to 4 sequences where the API will stop generating further tokens. Ah. And I know this is governed by which tier you're on. So if you're on the personal tier, it's going to give you a lot less bandwidth than if you are on the enterprise tier. I think there's professional, which is like $1,000 a month subscription, and then there is the enterprise, which is they always tell you this is how you know it's a big number. They don't write a number there; they say contact sales. You know you're gonna get served like $10,000, bill or something like that. It's funny. Thanks, thanks,
all right.
thanks, Gregory. Okay, go to town.
So I need to do the same for
You're just
other
gonna
properties,
you're
but
just gonna continue the same properties, like keep adding on top of the existing one, right? You may also, by the way, you may also, just to simplify things, you may put all of these properties that I did inside another dynamic object called request if you want to. I'm okay with that too. So
all
okay,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, just tell me so, and I'll be doing static dynamic create request object. It's like this.
Well, no, you want all of them to be in the same dynamic object. All of them,
Mhm.
right? So go back to the completion, uh, go
Wow.
back to completion. We did the request. We need to
Mhm.
start with the response. Do the
All right.
response now.
All right. Now I got it. And I'll be dealing with the external response, right? Or they are the
They're
same.
both the same at the moment.
All right.
Here we go. Look at this guy.
Oh, oops.
All right. Okay. Cool.
So the ID, do you have ID yet? No. It's string.
Yep. Coding with AI is just fantastic. Fantastic. And this created, I'm assuming, Brian, it's like the millisecond representation of time, isn't it? Something like that.
What do you mean, the millisecond?
You see how created is integers? I think this is millisecond representation.
Yep.
Yeah. So Elbic here, you want to basically create a generated, nope, you're gonna create create a new method and have this say create random choices list, and it returns a list of dynamic objects.
Okay.
Doing things the right way is tiring. Takes a little bit of work.
So it's
Make it a list of dynamic objects.
all
A
right.
list of dynamic objects, or an array rather. Make it an array, like dynamic array.
All right. Can you do it like this?
Yeah.
All right.
And
So
then you're gonna want to scope this. So open close squiggly brackets, and then do this. So do enumerable dot range. Yep, and then 0 to get random number. Like we don't even know what this random number is. Just make sure that our get random number method generates from 2 upwards. Otherwise you'll end up with no lists. Yeah, good. And then do select dot select. And then item fat arrow new.
item
Open close
like this one.
parentheses. Yep. Semicolon there. And then start adding the properties of choices in there.
Mm-hmm.
Text index, whatever. Yep. What the heck is the object? What is that?
Probably.
Log probabilities come back as object. What on earth?
Should be an int, a nullable int.
Vickery says that font looks like you are on Microsoft Word. Hand orange covering eyes. By the way, guys, Fikri, this brother right here, he's the one that taught me the changing the assembly, visible to in the project itself. He went and dug it up, and he said, "Hey, dude, instead of putting make visible to on every single class you have, why don't you change the CS proj itself?" He has his own kind of community and his own YouTube channel. I'm gonna go find his. Where's your YouTube channel, Fikri? Do you have it?
And by the way, I just fixed this method name.
Mm.
So you told me once, I remember, when we are doing primitive objects, we say get. When we do, objects, we say create. So I just changed from create random string to get random string. If it's
Okay.
right. So get. What should I do here? Get random number, probably.
For object, I don't
Yeah.
know.
No, it's meant to be an int.
It is an int.
Yes. I don't know where you
Okay.
got the object. I don't know how that comes through.
Oh,
Why did it come out as an object though?
it was, I guess, auto-generated. So it
Mhm.
said object. I guess, I don't know. String. So that's it for choices.
And then just type into array.
Get array. Now it should work. Okay.
So that should do that trick for you. Why your autocomplete is dead? What happened to it?
I just switched off the Copilot.
Okay, got it. Okay, and then usage, the same thing. Fikri, what's the language you're speaking? He's from, let me see if I can remember. Is it, this where you get Ceylon tea
Sri
from? Sri Lanka? Is that right? Are
He
you
said
from Sri
Sri
Lanka,
Lanka,
bro?
yeah.
Yep, Sri Lanka. Yep. Beautiful country. Lots of culture over there.
Have you been to Sri Lanka, Stas?
No, but my manager was, and she was showing me all her pictures from her country and all that. When I worked in I think it was Wells Fargo. My manager, she was Sri Lankan. Sinhalese, that's right. And I think he's also doing a translation of the standard in Sinhalese, if I'm saying the thing right. And yeah, it's pretty sweet.
You
Hit
need to FLR that Elbic, I think. Yep.
usage is not an
Oh,
array,
you
by
mean,
the way. Yeah.
oh, I see.
Go subscribe to Fikri. Even if you don't speak Sinhalese, just watch what he's doing on the screen. Programming is a universal language, so you'll be able to understand what he's talking about.
So then here,
You don't
I
need a
just
list.
returned
You just new. You just say new. Almost there.
All right. So
You need to remove the array. Yep, and then you need a semicolon down there. Then you need to stick it to the. Yes,
Yeah.
perfect. Hey, what is this ID object created? Are these things that I forgot, or they're not supposed to be there, or what happened there?
They're coming from the
Yeah,
response,
from the response. You're right.
so generated on the other side.
Okay, why do you have a do we have model twice? Scroll all the way up. Do we have model
Yeah,
twice in here?
probably yes, yes. So I need to get rid of
Why is
this.
it? No, just say response model, and then the first one is request model. Perfect.
Maybe choices as well. No.
No, you're
All right.
good. Give that back to me. Oh, do you have choices? Two choices? Is that what it
No.
is?
I
Yeah.
thought I have, but I don't
No,
have it.
no. Give it back to me. Same test name, WIP.
Should
Should prompt completion async, then arrow WIP. Okay, Lou, do you know what to do from there, or do you want me to drive it still? I could
I
drive it.
think I know.
Give it to Kay. Let's go, Kay.
all right.
Here's Kailu. So just for the people watching, you can see sometimes programming is brain work, sometimes it's muscle work. We're now in the muscle work part. You know, just muscle it up. Just push, 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 and push as much as you can. Make sure you're getting things out the way to implement an idea. And sometimes it's just, you know, kind of spirit work, you know. Are you energized enough to kind of think about this and do this? That needs to stay all the time. You need that spirit, energy all the time. Okay, let's see if Elbic's stuff in there. Yeah, it's insane. This code is running around the planet circles. It's going like this. Except for me and Kailu because we're pretty much in the same town. So, but Brian, your turn is coming soon. You're gonna make that test pass.
What?
He's like, what? I did the brokers. What else you want from me? So I know some people in their testing they do what is it what is it Elbic
Assert.
arrange assert
Yeah.
arrange assert and then the last one is
Act. Act.
act. The fact that I can never remember it just tells you something, you know.
Yes.
Also, I think given Athena will appreciate this more, you know. Athena, do you let's see if she's around. Athena, do you do given when then in your user stories as a PM? Do you use that language? Oh, she is on the stream, but I didn't add her there. Hold on. Athena, are you still there? Nope, stepped out. Coffee, tea, crashed. Something happened. Anyway, it's being used also in the business language. Like if you're writing a user story or something like that, you will do, hey, given when then, and here's my approach to that. So that's pretty cool too. All right, Kay, what do you have? Did your screen froze? Did we lose you? What
Yeah,
happened?
I'm looking at something.
Okay.
I totally remember how to do this, but I can find this.
Okay, let me know if you want me to jump in. Let's see, if I do it this way, is this better? Or this better? Chowdhury was telling me about this the other day. He's like, you know, we can put them all bottom, we can see the screen. I'll check it on my phone in a bit.
So
So
create,
we need to create the request. Sorry,
yeah,
your input is the completion itself,
yeah,
right? So let's start from there. Let's start from the completion model, right? So you have this dynamic completion properties, right? Right. And then outside of that, create that completion. Yeah, perfect. And then create that random completion model out of it.
Completion course.
Hmm.
Completion.
Hmm. So you have request and response.
Request or
So that's new completion request.
parts verify to this.
What do you want to do?
Completion.
Oh, you're not gonna break it? That's fine too. Yep.
Course. New completion request. We want everything, right?
Yep, everything in there. The good news about this, you can literally copy all these properties and just add in that random completion properties behind it, and you should be good to go.
Okay.
That's your probably easiest way to do this.
All the way to
No,
the
nope, nope, nope. Just go back to the model itself. Okay. So go inside that completion request model. And then just take all of these. You're gonna need to do the trick to make this work. So let me tell you how to do this. Select that opening squiggly. Select the open
This.
squiggly part. Yeah, select that guy. Is it selected? Highlight it.
Like that.
Yep, and then do Alt Shift semicolon. Nope.
Oh,
Perfect. Selected the other ones. Do it with the get. Like select opening squiggly bracket with the get, both of them. Yep, and then do Alt Shift semicolon.
so,
Go ahead.
it's
Alt Shift. Yep, perfect.
Yeah.
And then do this Control Shift left.
Left. Okay.
Again. Again. And again.
Okay.
Control C.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And then throw all of these bad boys in there. Perfect. Perfect. Copy that because you're gonna need it in a second.
Okay.
So select all of these and just do tab. It should push it over. Perfect. Copy that. And then select all of them again. And then do this. No, try to do this. Alt and drag. Yep, yep. You know what to do. Control Shift, right. Nope. Go back.
Like do it like this, right?
That's fine too. That works for me. Uh-huh.
Like that. Okay.
And then jump to the other side. Okay.
Ah.
You could select all the equals, but tread very carefully for that one. Oh, you already have it. Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
This.
Visual
That's
Studio
so
Magic. You
close.
forgot this. All right. Kaluhu, ladies and gentlemen. He's amazing. See? You wouldn't be able to tell the difference between our code. You wouldn't in a million years. Okay, var that guy on 24, and then let's build the other one. Yep. By the way, the request is the biggest one. The other two are very small. The response and the...
Okay. Oh, okay. If I want to.
select the get open again.
Oops.
Yep, and then Alt Shift Semi, and then yep. If you do it this way, it won't work. Do Control Shift right, and then Control Shift left. Yeah, and then you got the ID there, but that's okay. Pick these up and mhm. So what time is it in Uzbekistan, Elbek, right now?
It's 11:30.
11:30.
Yeah.
So
Afternoon.
you are exactly 12 hours difference. Sergio is like, this keyboard shortcut is an endless wiki. Oh yeah. Oh, you're gonna. Oh, there's a lot more, dude. Like, Sergio, you should try to do control control semicolon and see what comes out. And then also try control comma and see what comes out. Control comma is like my super secret weapon because control comma basically searches files, classes, methods, properties, values, anything in everything. And it also has fuzzy search. So even if you misspell something, it'll figure out what you're looking for. It's pretty cool actually. Mm. Okay, perfect. Just make sure that nuclear bomb will not somewhere with those shortcuts.
Yeah, the guys were Hassan. Too many shortcuts for an open source project. Premium like this. Too much. Too much.
Way too much shortcuts. I mean, I always say this, if you start touching the mouse while you're writing code, you already are slowing yourself down, right? Which is funny. We went full circle because like the original, programmers, there was no mouse attached to a computer originally, right? They used to have these green screens. There was even no color. It was just a command line. That's all you get, right? And people were just, banging on these keyboards, just going, right? Very recently, I was viewing some recordings, just to kind of analyze a system and whatnot. And one of the craziest thing I've seen, there is this salesperson, and there is this amazing UI powered everything. They went and hired a developer to develop a CMD-like interactive console so they can interact with the sales system because they don't want to be clicking around with a mouse. They want to just go like this. They worked for like 40 years and that's all they know. It's amazing. They just dropped, $15,000 for an engineer and said, "Look, I can execute much faster sales if I can interact with the system through a command line rather than using this stupid UI drop down and clicking buttons here and there and all that." It's crazy. Crazy times. But also, these were the exact same systems that, I don't know if I showed any of you this, but these are the exact systems where people like had punch cards and stuff like that. I posted this the other day on a social media group. I'll show it to you in a second. This picture that you'll see now is pretty much just 4.5 megs of information. Let me just show you this. 4.5 megs in punch cards. Let's see here. Here we go. Here's the picture. I'll share it with you guys in a sec. Yeah, this right here. Here. Taking your screen for a second, okay? You keep going.
Yep, go ahead.
There it is. So this is 4.5 megabytes from 1966 in punch
Mi-
cards.
Mind you, a 4.5 megabyte hard disk back in those days would have filled a pallet. Would have been the size of a pallet. So.
Yeah. Crazy, right? And I have been told, like, computer science students at a time, you know how today we can easily just click a button and we're debugging? They didn't have that luxury. They had to punch the card manually, and then they go to a lady in a lab and they give her the card, which has the code in it, and then they need to come back tomorrow or next week to see the results of the program that they were running. So you can't just click play. You really have to compile the code in your head and make sure that it actually works before, like, imagine finding like a missing semicolon in these days. And then, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong on this. And then if you're external, you have to pay money to the lab lady. Like you have to actually buy
Mm-hmm.
that time so they can run it for you. Someone actually will take the punch card and run it for you. It's ridiculous. It was very hard. I don't think engineers really, there's a lot of things that we have today that we take for granted that they weren't that easy. They weren't for free. You know, you had to actually work for it. I don't know. It was interesting times. I think there's another picture here I'm going to show you. Um, it's just a 5 megabyte hard drive, right? It's a hard drive, and how huge it is, you guys wouldn't imagine. Here's here's a 5 megabyte IBM hard drive. This little guy right here. Check it out. So you have about 4 or 5 men pushing that thing inside of a truck, right? Today you have these little kind of, thumb size, little that has like 5 terabytes or something like that. Yeah, these were very interesting times. Brian, do you remember why were they so large? I don't remember the mechanics of it. I
Yeah, off the top of my head, I don't remember the mechanics. I think the discs in them were very big at the time, and they couldn't get the very fine resolution in the magnetic media.
hmm
So
Elham, just to answer your question, these punch cards are basically for computer programming. They were basically a representation of what we would call like a 0 and 1 today. Is that right? So I think, correct me if I'm wrong. If you look at these punch cards, that's how they looked like.
when I started coding, it was literally only a few years after this was the case. I never had to use punch cards, but
Oh, thank
everyone I spoke
God.
everyone I spoke to had. So yeah.
Thank God you didn't have to deal with this. This is pain. Like you had to do this manually, and then the system is supposed to look at these and make a program out of it. Right? These were interesting times. Like these are punch cards. This is your stack, and you buy the stack. And you basically write your code in there. It was ridiculous. I don't think anybody would be able to stand this today. It was very, very hard. Ideally, you're supposed to represent zeros and ones. And in your mind, you're calculating that, and then you're going and saying, oh, yeah. It went super fast from mechanical engineering, into this, situation that we have today. Anyway, thank you for the little side commercial there. All right, okay, where are we at? Choices. Oh, you're gonna have to flatten that one because even choices itself is just an array of dynamic objects. So you're gonna have to do select on that one and flatten it. Hmm.
You could just
Uh,
Can't you use the string function to collate them? I can't remember the name of the string function.
No, wait. More important than this, you have to use the random completion properties. You can't use the random completion. You're basically doing the work that the service is supposed to be doing.
How about that? Oh no, yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Let me know when you get tired. I'm more than happy to pick it up. Caleb getting tired. That's hilarious. Oh, look. Alan started with punch cards. Nice. Nice. Alan, do you remember by any chance how to, if I want to print out just one letter, like A, what would that look like in a punch card? Let's see what Fikri says.
So I
Hmm.
don't know what these choices and usage actually are.
Oh,
So I need to create them.
no. So this choice is just do dot select in there.
Hmm.
At the end, dot select, and you're basically creating that choice model from there.
Select, and do I need to do anything here or?
Yep, just say item, open parenthesis, and then new, and then external choice.
External choice. Okay.
Yep, and then you add the properties there. We're almost done, people. Hang in there. Almost 2 hours on the clock.
Mhm. So that would be
So every
when
property you have, that's what you're gonna get from this item, basically. So finish reason, index, log probabilities, all that, you're just gonna type in item dot finish reason, and then all of that. Yep,
okay.
yep. Yep, and then you're just gonna say dot to array at the bottom. Yep. So, why is this guy freaking out? Because it doesn't know what the type of choices is, right? Even though we said it's a list, can you hover over choices real quick?
Dynamic. So should I
Dynamic.
return it into list first?
Do dot to list. Let's see what happens. It should be happy. Go inside this random completion properties. I don't know. I think Elbic did it right, but let's take a look. So choices. What does this guy return? Should return a list. Oh, it's an array of dynamic, right? But you don't know that, right? So you're gonna have to do dot to list. So map it to an array of dynamic, and they say dot to list. Go back, control minus, and then one more, and then map it. Just cast it to a list or an array of dynamic.
So
So open close parentheses around choices and random completion, and inside that, cast it to an array of dynamic. Mm-hmm. And now you can wrap all of that up and say select.
like that.
Yep,
Okay.
that's it.
And
Now this guy's freaking out why you are, oh, just do dot to array with choice model. I think that, wait, you are in the external. Can you hover over choices again, real quick? Ah, this guy is looking for the local choice model. Go inside that guy and change it to external choice. Yeah, this guy should say external choice, and it should say also external usage. Yep, same thing for the one. Nice. Yep. Let's go back.
okay.
Done.
Now,
Done.
okay. Now it's happy. Okay. Cool. completion, and
I was
external.
returning dynamic object as a user usage
Mm.
object. Does it map automatically, or we should do
It's
that
probably
arrow
gonna.
new?
We probably need to do. You're right. We need to do a new, not fat arrow, but we need to create a new. That's a good point. Go to 97 real quick, okay, and create a new model. Type in new usage. Sorry, new external usage.
Mm, like
After the equal sign, just type in new external usage.
oops. Okay.
Elbic, why don't we just use AutoMapper? What's wrong with that?
No external libraries.
Get pull these in. It's be a problem, right? If these external libraries change on you, they can break your entire system. It becomes a
Yes.
huge problem, right? So
And
I
if
asked, go ahead.
yeah, I was trying to say, and if we do out automapper in the tests, it will be against the axiom, the law of axiom.
Exactly. Exactly, because you're basically repeating the business logic, right?
Yes.
So earlier I asked Alan, I said, hey, if I want to print one letter in a punch card, what would that look like? And he said each column of the card represented an E, B, C, D, I, C character. Is that one word, Alan? E, B, C, D, I, C character. We coded our programs on special coding forms, and the punch card operators used a typewriter-like machine to create a punch card. Dang. Different times. Believe it or not, what we're doing today, yes, okay, so that's okay. Believe it or not, what we're doing today on Visual Studio is gonna look like a punch card, 20, 30 years from now. People will look at these videos and be like, oh my God, these people were actually writing code by hand. They couldn't just think what they want to do and it just happens. I don't know what that's gonna look like. I mean, there are people that get paid good money just to predict the future, right? Maybe they rely on people like, writers of science fiction. I don't know. Brian, was the Jitsons popular in Australia as well? The Jitsons? You're on mute. What are you saying?
You know, I love the Jetsons when I was little. And none of it came true, or none of it's come true yet. We've
Mm,
got no flying cars, no tubes to travel around in.
we don't have hoverboards yet, you know. So Alan said E, B, C, D, I, C was like an ASCII, and then Fikri said extended binary coded decimal interchange. Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Abe Ibsad Ipsadic. Ipsdic. Dude. Crazy. What up, Janoob? Janoob Panda. Crazy. Crazy times.
I remember when I was the pride of the office, I had a 20 megabyte hard drive allocated to me, and it's sat on my
20
desk.
megabytes.
Yep, and it sat on my desk, and everyone in the whole building come and had a look at it.
They would be like, wow, you have so much storage. What are you gonna store on all of that? My my 1 terabyte hard drive on this machine is running out of memory. It's just there's no more space. 1 terabyte, in my time when I was like 16 years old, I think the big thing was 100 megs. 100 megs was the thing, right? And if your graphics card can do 256 megs, that's crazy. That's crazy talk, right? ATI cards, GeForce GTX cards, and stuff like that. Now I'm looking at some of these cards and it says it can offer up to 24 gigabytes of graphics memory. How crazy is that? That's crazy talk. Kailu is almost done. Get ready, Brian. It's gonna be you. Brian's like, oh no. In fact, I think actually the implementation is much easier than the test. The test is the hard one. The test
Mm-hmm.
is you writing a documentation of what needs to happen, right? The test is the hard one. Expected completion. Yeah. See, the beautiful thing about all of this is that Kailu's writing code, but I can think of the people that influenced how this code is written. Like this little deep clone here, that was someone that reported to me at Microsoft. Her name was Shri Hummerda, and she proposed this. And then a really, really nice guy's name is Naveen. He basically added on top of it. He came back and he said, let's test it and try it out and all that. You see people like the Matrix. I don't see code anymore. I see blonde, brunette, redhead, you know. Just like that scene from there. It's crazy. You look at all the people that contributed to us being able to write proper code. It really does take a village. It's not a one man kind of thing. Okay. Kylo, are we within the 120 character length? Some people have their editors have like a red line, and that red line in the editor basically tells you, hey, you exceeded 120 characters. All right, let's run it. Control KE, or that works too. Here's a test. What up, Parker? You ready? I could take it too. That's the easy part, actually. We do this one and we're done for the day. And then next tomorrow we do validations and exception handling and all that fun stuff. What's this guy complaining about? Oh, you need to make the completion request also public. Yeah.
We're almost 2 hours. That's a craft, right? How you learn the craft.
Oh, dude, this is nothing. Kylo and I used to set. We would start from 6 p.m. on a Thursday, and we would wrap up around 10 a.m. the next day. And we would go through like Kylo, we would probably push through like what, like 5 or 6 foundation orchestration coordination services. You remember that stuff?
Write the whole entire feature on one day.
Like a whole feature from the API to the UI,
Yeah.
end to end. This is nothing.
That was
Sorry,
crazy.
sorry guys. Did we do the right thing? Did we do the right thing then, making them public?
For the models, yeah, the completion model is okay. The internal model is the local model is okay. The external are internals.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny. The external models are internals. But these are the ones we're gonna give to our customers, right?
Okay, yeah, I'm good with that then. Yeah.
Kylo, is this thing failing for all the right reasons? I highly doubt it. There's always something missing in the dynamic. Let's look at the error in there. Cannot create, there you go. Proxy type because it is not accessible. Make it public. Ooh, this guy doesn't like, oh no, that's so bad. So it looks like, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Brian, that show internals only or internal visible to won't work because the filler is considered an external assembly.
Yes, remember a few weeks ago I actually sent you a little ping on this. So you've got to expose it to the filler as well.
Let's expose it to the filler as well. Go back to openai.net and right click and click edit, Kailu.
Open AI.
The
I had the same.
project itself.
I had the same problem with mock. Remember?
Yep. So right click, do edit project.
Where is it?
Well, it's not editing. Oh, there you go. And then, do you see that internals visible too? Control D on that one. What's the second assembly that we need to add? Brian, do you know?
No, I can't. Sorry.
Okay, do Control D on this, Kailu. Just Control D, dude. It'll just copy it for you.
Doesn't work for me.
What? Are you still on that Mac machine?
Yeah. What do you think?
All right, go back to the error. It's literally giving you the assembly name. Go to back to the Test Explorer. Just open up Test Explorer. It should give you the error. It says you need internals visible to and copy that guy.
hmm
And whatever that is, generated assembly to, I have no idea. I have no idea if that changes. Is it actually generated? Let's just run and see. See, you can show people a funny feature. Oh, there you go. Microsoft C# runtime binder anonymous type does not contain definition of model. Click on the red line. Click on the red line. It'll tell you exactly where it's at.
It's probably the filler.
Yeah, it is a filler. Go into completion service tests. Yep, and then go back to your file. So this guy is saying there is no such a thing as model. Why is that? If you go inside the create random completion properties, you do
Or
have,
request
oh,
model.
request model.
Yeah.
Elbic, why didn't you tell us? Why did you let Kailu drown in the ocean? You also need response model, okay?
Yeah, it's in 49. Probably, right? Yeah.
Response model. That means it worked, Brian. That means it can see the models now. Response models, okay, not request model, response model. It's not the same. Thanks. And then the same thing for, yeah, this external response. Yep, that's run. Almost there. I will do a good cleanup at the end and make it look really, really pretty. Cannot implicitly convert to, oh, string array. Why? Oh, somewhere you're pushing the choice dynamic object directly. Click on the red again, it will take you exactly where you need to be. Yep, go back to your code. So you are here. So you see that part where you said choices equal choices? You have to do that mapping the exact same way we mapped it down there. Yep, but instead of external choice, you're gonna make it just choice. Yep. Let's go.
I assume
We'll find out. Run. What? Oh, usage? Yep. Good catch. Yep. Yep. See, that's why you're my brother. I don't have to think about things. Just, dude, honestly, guys, I'll tell you the truth. Thinking about what we're gonna do today, I didn't think I was just gonna be sitting right there. It is. Yeah, now it's ready to go to Brian Parker. That's a good fail. Nobody will understand this except software engineers, but we're happy that we're failing. Very pleasant. And it looks like if Brian times this right, we should wrap up exactly at the top of the 2 hour. Exactly there. We'll see.
Jesus. The pressure is on.
Yep, you have 6 minutes to make this work. I don't care how. I don't care what you're doing. Make it work.
Return true.
You know, you could make that test pass by just switching from tasks to value task. It'll just pass. Doesn't matter what you're implementing. It doesn't care.
But I remember seeing such method, return true.
Okay. Okay. So all of these people, I don't know. I don't know what me M is saying. You're gonna have to translate that one for us, Elbic. Okay, Brian, you're it.
Yeah, he's saying when are you gonna send new videos to Geno Panda? You know what this
Who
guy
are these
is?
people?
These
Are
are
you
my folks actually.
are you guys using my channel as an advertising platform? And you're speaking to each other in your own language, so I won't catch. Well, I have an Uzbek guy. I can learn Uzbek. You know, it's not that hard. You know. Walaikum salam. Okay. How do you say Elbic? Min to Shula. What is it? Min to Shuna Olaman. Am I saying that right? Look at his face. Min to Shuna Olaman, motherfuckers. You know what I mean? I'm from Seattle. That's a hardcore hood, you know?
So I have to
Okay.
map this to a
Oh yeah,
complete.
you need a couple. Yeah, you're gonna need a couple of private methods. And
Yep.
hey, you have only 3 minutes. No pressure.
Ah, now you're making me real nervous.
What's this? Assalamu alaikum, Hassan Habib, Ustaz. I am Husan. Is that the right way to say it? Husan? Is that
Yes.
what the X is? Ha?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Okay, wa alaikum salam. How do you say it, Elbic? Qala Yiziz? Qala Yiziz?
Yes. Allah
Qala
says
Yiziz
yes.
means I
Ah,
have
Yeah.
no idea. This turned into what is it, Rosa Park or something? That translation thing just got really weird. All right. See what your community did to me? They made me speak Uzbek. What do you think about that? You know, we like you too. Oh boy, I don't know what I said, but I like you too. So Brian, do we just what do you think?
am I lost?
No, you're good. You're taking the completion. You need to map it into an external completion request. So you take a completion and map
Yep.
it to external completion request. You're not lost. I got you. I got you, my brother. People in Australia, they also have their own thing. Like if you think you speak English, and that's enough for you to understand what people in Australia say, you'll be severely wrong. Like in Australia, In Australia, they'll say ta, right? Ta meaning thank you, right, Brian?
Yes,
And Sheila, when they say Sheila, it means a woman or a girl.
that's right. Yes.
And they don't say breakfast, they say breaky.
Yeah,
Bricky.
brekkie and Maccas.
Yep, and Macca's. Can anyone here think like let me just throw this at you. If I say Macca's at you, right? What do you think that is? Just take a wild guess. Question for people in also on the channel who are not from Australia. If you're from Australia, you cannot answer that question. What does Macca's mean? Just take a wild guess.
McDonald's? McDonald's?
McDonald's. That's
Really?
what it is. McDonald's, right? Okay, take this one. What about Barbie?
Barbecue.
Barbecue.
Oh,
Barbecue.
but it's mac and
And then,
cheese.
of course, the all-time favorite, crikey. But I don't think anyone says crikey anymore. Is that right, Brian? Is that an old one?
No, crikey's still around. Yeah. You'll hear people say crikey. Yeah, it's normally used more on forums to announce that we're Australian. So yeah.
And then my ultimate favorite, I think, Brian, is bonza. What does bonza means? Brian is like, shut up, I'm trying to write the code. Bonza. It's bunzer, but bonza is how I think.
I'm getting this
No
all out of
idea.
whack.
Bonza meaning like really great, awesome, first grade engineer, Bonza engineer. There's ankle biter. It means like a small or a young child.
Or a serial hunter.
Or
Or cereal.
Brian, what's sarvo? What's sarvo? What does that mean?
Savo
Sarvo?
or Arvo?
Arvo.
Arvo. Yeah, well, it's Arvo for me at the moment.
If I say sarvo, that means this afternoon, right?
No,
Sarvo?
Arvo. It's just Arvo. We don't have an S there, I don't think. No.
Now here's the final one, and then I'm gonna stop distracting Brian because this is starting to get silly. What is Brian? What is Bush? What is Bush Tilly?
Telly, Bush Telly.
Bush Tilly.
Never heard of Bush Telly. I've heard of Bush Tucker.
Bush Tilly is like like what you watch at night when you're camping. Bush Tilly.
Nope,
Like you're in
never
the
heard of.
bush and you're watching a television. Bush Tilly?
Nope, that's not.
No?
That's new. Nope,
That's not a thing?
nope.
Okay.
Not local around here anyhow. It's,
Yeah.
sometimes these things. Yeah.
I mean different regions have different, things.
Yeah, I've
Tell
got all the
people.
properties there covered. Yep.
Cool. Let's run
I,
test. Let's see if that's true.
no. So what am I going to do here? I got to call that.
So when are you gonna come to visit us, Uzbekistan, sis?
Oh, Uzbekistan? Okay, I'll come visit.
Yeah, people are asking.
What do I do there? I need to shit. Will you let me see the underground train? By the way, just for the people, Uzbekistan just very recently allowed kind of people to take pictures of the underground stations. I'm gonna take the screen from Brian here for a second. And so Uzbekistan underground train. They have the most beautiful in the world. This is a train station. Hold on, where is it? This here is a train station. Are you kidding me, bro? Like, are you serious right now? This looks like a palace of a king. This is amazing. Can you believe this? This is crazy. So, but Uzbekistan in general is a beautiful country. So I'd definitely go and visit and see where Al-Bukhari came from and all these fun people. Okay, Brian, where are we going?
I need to now map that back to a completion, the external response.
Yeah. Thank you for doing that. And we need to kind of tighten, Kailu, we might need to tighten our test to actually truly verify that. And I'll think about a way to do this, and maybe for the next session, we'll do it. Anyway, if you think that session is too long, just remember, Some people do like 12 hours. It's not healthy. Don't try this at home, especially not for a stream. But then again, I also hear about these gamers. Have you heard about this, Elbeck? I know a gamer would go for 3 days. I can't believe it. That's crazy, dude.
Wow.
That's insane. Insane. Well, at least not to put down anyone, but at least what we're doing is going to be a library that people would use to earn a living with.
Yeah.
So I guess that's okay.
So you can sit and do streaming when you like it a lot. So time passes by and you don't notice that 2 hours passed by. So the gamers just play. They enjoy the vibe. They enjoy the journey. So,
And
oops,
a lot and
12
a
hours.
lot of and a lot of energy drinks. A lot of
Yes.
energy drinks.
Yeah.
I know that sometimes some of them just have a cardiac arrest, like they have like a and then there's also what do they call it? People pull pranks on um gamers. They do something called swatting. They go call the police on them and they get raided live. I shouldn't be laughing. It's really mean. It's really, really mean-spirited, but what are you gonna do, right?
Wow, do I have to do a lot of mapping here or not? Okay, so request equals.
Okay.
See, I can't map to I'm gonna map to a
You're gonna need to take both external response and external request, and you're gonna map both back. But you don't need, you actually don't, you need the exact, so Brian, you need that exact completion model that got passed in and just map the response to it. That's all you need to do.
So I need to pass that in as well. Is that right?
Yes. You're just updating it, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. You
Oops.
still, you still gonna need to new up, yeah.
Yeah.
And don't assume that response is not null because it will be. So you're gonna have to, yeah, go for it. I think it's doing it for you. Look at this. Just do tap. Oh my God. Did it actually do all of them?
No, just did the first.
No. Ah, mean. Should have done all of them. Now we're getting angry at AI for not reading our minds. Should autocomplete that for you. The response is much easier than the request, obviously, so it should be pretty straightforward.
What's this?
Be careful, be careful because you're picking up you're creating
Undynamic. Yeah.
no, you're reading from completion. You should be reading from external completion response.
Uh-huh.
You gonna do it? Yep. Hey, look, all of us wrote code today. That's amazing. Isn't that fun? It's a little bit of a heavy task anyway, so always if you hear, the law of axioms, know that there's gonna be a little bit of work, a little bit of grunt work, like muscle work that's gonna happen there. So I think you still gonna have to map those from
Mm-hmm.
external to, but it should be very straightforward. So if you do like select choices.select and then you type in external choice, fat arrow, and then new choice, that should do the trick for us. Yep. Let's go, let's go. Yep. Yep. By the way, Brian, if you do control space, it will pull out the options for you instead of you having to do a tab or a space. Just FYI.
All right.
Try it with the next one. Control
Control.
space.
Yep.
There you go. You got it, brother.
Have I got any more there? Nope, we're good.
I know some engineers like to leave that trailing comma. Brian, after text, take away that. Yeah, you got it. Yep, you're fine. That's it. So we have this completion response, and you don't have to add the request because it's already there. So all you gotta do is just return, I think. Oh, is there more in the response? Yeah, keep going. Okay, yep, shutting up now. You know what you're doing. Yep, do your thing. External completion response dot created.
Whoops, what was it? Control space, was it? Yeah.
Okay. At this point, we probably kind of lost all our North America audience. It's really late in here. It's approaching 12 o'clock, super fast. Oh, it's beyond the 12 o'clock. It's 12:30, almost 12:30.
I think I've got them all there.
If you do control space and it's not pulling anything anymore, you're good.
Well,
Yep, that's it.
yeah, now we're good.
Let's go. Yep. So now
What's
you
it
just
do?
need now you just need to return that completion object.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Mm-hmm.
And this.
Yep. The completion and the completion response, right? You need both of them being passed in there.
Yep.
I think that should do it. Let's run and see. Gee, that was some work.
Mm-hmm. You said it was easy. You lied.
Let's see, what is it complaining about? Type or namespace completion. Well, your test has passed, so that's a good thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have 8 errors.
How come?
Why? What is that? I don't believe it, actually. So if you click... What? I think this thing is tripping. I don't believe
Yeah.
it. Can you do a clean project, Brian? And maybe you're gonna need to even reload or something like that.
Yeah, I might try the reload first. I'll just make sure I've got to save all in.
Mm-hmm.
Whoops.
It'd be nice if there's a shortcut for this. I don't think there's a shortcut for unload.
To reload, yeah.
Yep.
Might have to do the same with the unit test, you think? Yep.
Yeah, let's do with the unit test too. Yep. Yeah, look at them just disappearing. Crazy, craziness. Because we're playing with the preview version, so
Nope,
it's still
they're all back.
complaining though.
We got 3 back.
But wait, cannot implicitly, what is it saying? Wait, it didn't pick up Kailu's. Kailu, did you push everything you have on your side? Because this also happened when I pulled your code and it didn't have the test in it. Do you have everything on your side? Okay.
I think everything on my end all says pushed, that I don't have any new changes.
No, I know what happened. Brian, your usage, you're mapping external usage to internal usage. You're gonna have to map this one. So you're gonna have to do new usage on line 66. Yeah, that's what it is. Yep. New usage and then yep. And then inside of there, you're gonna take that external. Yep. Yep. External completion dot usage dot. Yep. Yep. Prompt tokens dot. Nice.
There's a good question in the chat, Stas. So they saying,
When are you going to align JWT authentication authorization to the standard? Ask Chris to Dutui. And okay, this is I'm half joking. You know, some people in the community are working on it. .NET developer. We'll see. Like I said. We're working on it. Okay, why is this guy tripping though? Select to array. Oh, haha. So make a new line between multi-liners. So take a new line from 63 and take a new line under 56. And then also the same with the others. So new line from the top on choices. Yep, and the same thing for usages. Yep. Yep, that's it. Let's run, Brian. Let's see what happens. It's taking a while. It works. You made it. So just for my own sanity, Brian, go to one of the properties and just cancel it. Like comment one of the properties on the services, on the implementation.
Yep. Hang on.
See how let's see how really strict this is. Just comment these total tokens. Just comment it.
This one?
Run again.
Perfect.
Nice. Beautiful. What else? Brian, do me a favor. Can you that convert, that little piece that says convert to completion, remove that and just return, like go up to the method itself and just say return completion. Yep. Just say return completion in there.
All right. So you want me to pull that out? Yeah.
There's a little something that I'm trying to make sure of because I want the completion that's coming in to actually have null. And then we deep clone and we create the expected. Let's just see. I don't know, Kylo, if you did that. We'll check it in a second. No, Brian, just say return completion.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, of course. Yep.
You have a closing squiggly there.
Yeah.
If this comes back as a pass, then there's a tiny thing that we need to tweak in the test. Yep. Let's do it. You better not pass. You better not pass. Ah, see? Now give that back to me. Give me the test name WIP, and I'll tell you why is that not. Kailu, do you know what happened? Do you know why this is passing?
Well, because the mapping, they have the exact same values, right?
Right. So we need the input to actually have a null request and the deep cloned value that has the expected to have that mapping for the response. I'll do that right now.
Is this what you
I,
expect?
yes, yes, sir. Give that back to me. Let's do it. I'm not just gonna call it done because we've been sitting here for 2 hours. It's gonna have to be right. If it's not right, it's not worth it. Let's do this. Thank you, Brian, though. I appreciate it. So just for the people watching, when you deep clone, you dereference, right? So that basically means that, just to explain the problem here, this is the completion request, right? And this is the completion response, right? What we have here is this random completion should not have had the response in it at all, right? Which basically means that this one that we deep cloned at the very end, this expected completion, this is the one that's going to have expected completion dot response equals that random completion response right here. Which means that in Brian's code, if I go back to his code here, you see that completion part, that one that was passing, now it's going to freak out. It's going to say, wait a second, that's not what I'm expecting. Watch this. And if it doesn't, I should just quit doing this and just go work at Walmart. Just do something better with my life. See, now it's failing. Why is that? Because now it's actually not doing any mapping, right? So to make this work, I'll just leverage what Brian already kind of put in there. So let me just break this down a little bit because lines here are really extended. Let's break all that, break. Ideally, just for the people watching, and this is not a hard and fast rule, but it's a rule. If your code has a belly, like it's going beyond the name, usually I try to break it. Okay, as much as possible. It doesn't have to be a hard and fast rule either, right? So now if I go into here and actually use this method that Brian created, and I think this method can be, so this is external completion request, external response, completion response. This is returning external completion response like this. And let's break these down a little bit. So here is one, here's the other. And what is it? Is it the other way around? So the response and then the completion like this?
No, it should be the completion. What's going on?
Oh, wait. It's convert completion. You were right. You're doing the right thing. So this goes here. So now if I do that, now that test should pass. Boom. Now we're cooking. Just because something is passing, don't celebrate too early. You gotta make sure that it actually works. And keep an eye on these little tiny, do you see these little 3 dots in there? It's basically saying, hey, this is static. Why static is super cool? Because it costs you nothing. Like the instance, you don't need a place in memory. For this, static is much cheaper in terms of optimization. Not that this is expected to have, well, it could at some point in time have massive sets of data, but that's also okay. So if I run everything here, good, and we could use a little bit of, on the test side, we could simplify these a little bit. So we could have something that says, give me random from methods. You're passing these properties, and you have other private methods that are doing that mapping for you. The mapping will happen on the external because we really don't care. We just want the completion itself to be the one that's doing that. But other than that, I think we're done. Guys, you made it. Does that mean that the whole task is done? What do you think, Elvic? Are we done here? Like the whole thing is done?
Nope.
We're not done. What's
We're,
left?
we're gonna do validation and exception handling.
Right. So let's put this pull request in a draft just for people to see. And then you'll see some really nice view. That's pair programming, people, right? It doesn't even matter if it's 2 people, 3 people, or 9 people, as long as here in America, we call it round robin, right? So it's basically going, I don't know if people in other places call it round robin too, but at least in here they say that. So that basically means foundations, completion, prompt completion. Prompt completion. And we need
So
an issue for this, I think, right? Okay.
So I was thinking about leaving the, test as is and let some folks just do some code reps as their first PRs. What do you think?
Fantastic. Create an issue and say clean up the test.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with that.
All right. So uh, they can start working on that once this is merged to master, right? Or
hmm
can they open the PR against our work in progress branch? What do you think?
Well, that's a good point. Let them make a they can push towards the same branch, but they're gonna need to have access. They can't just fork.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because this is a different branch, right? It's someone else's code, right?
Mm-hmm.
So while I'm
But
talking about this, yeah, so while I'm talking about this, Brian, can you look into this
I've
issue here?
I've actually done a bit of reading on that, and there's actually quite a bit of interesting reading this guy's pointed out. But
Okay. Do you want to
yeah,
dis do you want
it
to
it,
discuss?
it it might it might have repercussions in the standard. So yes.
Okay. Check usage. I'm gonna say here, um, a minor fix like that,
hmm
or rather even code drop because it doesn't break an existing functionality, right? So Brian, explain this to us next session, if you
hmm
can.
Yep.
And we can bring it also in the standard discussions, so we can talk about this as well, right? The one thing that we also need here on the project itself, I forgot to add this today, we need a add item foundations, right? And this is prompt completion. So that's this guy, and then we're gonna create an issue for it. And then now I have this issue in progress, and now I can attach this pull request. Even though it's still in draft, I can still attach that pull request too. Here's this guy, and then in here, edit. And this is closes, hash, and there's your foundation prompt completion. Just like that. So that should attach this automatically. Much, much better than Bitbucket and Jira and that garbage. It's just very hard to use, honestly. Okay. Last remarks. Okay. You guys ready to start the next session? No, just kidding with you. Thank you all so very much. I appreciate the people have been with us, across 2.5 hours. It gets sometimes shorter and it gets longer. It depends on what we're building. But all in all, this is you want to see how we're building things. This is how we're building things. And I think also, just before I forget, on the project area, I think the issue of creating a broker is closed, right? So we already closed the broker initialize API broker. I think there was also another broker in here, which is the completion broker, right? Did we never create, let's see, post completion request? Did we never have a broker for an issue for this? So that sucks. Let's go back here. Fix completion API integration. This guy's done.
yeah.
Look how much stuff we got done. I need to mark this as, how do you mark this as done? Yeah, it is done. But there is no issue on it that says that code is merged, right? But anyway, I can fix that later. We are here in this foundation area. Again, thank you all for watching, and see you tomorrow. Appreciate you.
Hi.
Take care. Salam.